Just a recap, by the way, as you can see, we've now put on protective equipment because we have received a notification, as has the whole of Israel, that Iran has fired missiles towards Israeli territory. Almost coincidental with that, or certainly coming out at the same time as that, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, has put out a statement, not as long as Donald Trump's. My brothers and sisters, citizens of Israel, a short time ago, Israel and the United States embarked on an operation to remove what he describes as the existential threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran. He goes on to thank Donald Trump and says, for 47 years, the Ayatollah regime has been shouting death to Israel, death to America. It has spilled our blood, murdered many Americans, and massacred its own people. He says Iran must not be armed with nuclear weapons. Our joint action will create the conditions for the courageous Iranian people to take their destiny into their own hands. And this, I think, is the crucial element of this, because this is about the justification, echoing the words of Donald Trump. The time has come for all segments of the Iranian people, the Persians, the Kurds, the Azeris, the Baluchis, the Awazis, to throw off the yoke of tyranny and bring about a free and peaceful Iran. He says, also, I appeal to you, the citizens of Israel, to listen to the instructions of the Home Front Command. That is the app I was telling you about that supplies instructions to all Israelis about how to behave and where to seek shelter at times like this. Together we will stand together, we will fight together, we will ensure the eternity of Israel. So how do we translate that? Well, that is Benjamin Netanyahu saying, A, we are doing this alongside the United States. Remember that the US is, in a diplomatic terms, Israel's not only greatest friends, but one of its last remaining extremely loyal diplomatic allies. And he is saying that this isn't just about destroying Iran's stockpile of ballistic missiles. This isn't just about nuclear enrichment. This is about bringing to an end the regime of Ayatollah Khamenei and his predecessor. This is about, Ayatollah Khamenei being the original Ayatollah, Ayatollah Khamenei being the present Ayatollah. It is about bringing that regime to an end. And the Israelis, of course, blame Iran for fomenting discontent and anger and violence towards Israel through their support of Hamas in Gaza. And of course, the October 7th attacks resonates so deeply, so profoundly in Israeli society, and also through their support of Hezbollah in Lebanon. And right now, Israeli troops are massing on the Lebanese border, they say, for fear of Hezbollah joining in this attack. They say that they blame Iran for supporting the Houthis in Yemen, who have fired missiles towards Israel. I tell you also, Israel is putting troops on the border with Syria for fear of other reprisals. So Israel at the moment has immediately put itself on a war footing, attacking Iran, putting forces around its borders, but is making very clear here that this is about regime change. And that, I think, is why there are so many assets, so many planes in the sky above Iran at the moment, because it's not just about attacking Tehran. We're seeing reports of multiple places around Iran being attacked by this joint operation, and that you are hearing there once again. The alerts coming out from the Israeli authorities about the wave of missiles which they believe are on the way. Sirens now sounding in the center of Israel, sounding in the north of Israel. We are yet to have those air raid sirens here in Jerusalem. We did have one this morning at about 8 o'clock, which was a preemptive one. That was the first indication that we had that an attack was on the way. It was at the time made clear that this was a warning to Israeli citizens that they should steel themselves for an actual siren. Well, those are now sounding in parts of Israel as missiles are targeted upon the north and some of the central territories of the country, I would be astonished, frankly, if there wasn't an attack either now or later upon other cities. Notably, I think Tel Aviv, which has been the focus point of previous Iranian attacks on Israel. So a large-scale attack, and I'm hearing that air raid sirens have just started in Tel Aviv. So we will be watching that. They may, well, who knows? One doesn't want to predict what's going to happen, but they are sounding in Tel Aviv, and indeed, and I think you can hear them now, Anna. Yeah. Yeah, that is the very, very distinctive sound of air raid sirens there over Tel Aviv, the city. Not that far; it's about an hour between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, and they are different, very different cities. Jerusalem is the seat of government and is the religious centre of Israel. Tel Aviv is the seat of commerce, is on the coast, and is both cities of about 1 million people. But Tel Aviv is seen as a much more likely target because, quite simply, it would be extremely unlikely for Iran to attack Jerusalem and risk damaging, for instance, Al-Aqsa Mosque behind me, whereas Tel Aviv is seen as being a link with Israeli commerce and Israeli global power. So I would be not surprised at all to see a significant attack on that city, as has happened before. Buildings there were struck in the 12-day war, 8 months ago, and Israeli citizens were killed in that area. So these are the reprisal attacks expected on Tel Aviv and northern and central areas as Iran responds to this coordinated military operation by the United States and Israel.